Hi, this is Kim Calvary, student at Stephen F. Austin University. This is my facilities tour. With me on my tour, I have our chief of our Wills Point ISD Police Department.
Hello.
And the cameraman is our Assistant Superintendent Jeff Russell of Operations. So we're going to start out. My campus has kind of been pieced together throughout the years. The cafeteria that you'll see in a little bit is our oldest structure in our district. It is 72 years old. It is a freestanding building. Our main building was built in 1974, and then we have a wing that was built in 1953. So there are a lot of challenges with this facility, so we're going to kind of walk you through that. First of all, one of the upgrades that we have done is we have installed key card reader access as a security point. Because this facility is so spread out, our buildings are on car key readers so that when our staff need to come and go, they are able to unlock the doors. The students don't have card readers, but these do open during passing periods. So we will go ahead and go inside the building. Okay, another concern that we have is there is no vestibule entrance in our building. So when visitors come in, they come straight to the front office, but yet they also have free reign into our building, which is a safety concern. And so we do have our Raptor system here where when visitors buzz into the building, the office staff make sure that they do have driver's license or ID so that we can scan them in the Raptor system. They are all required to wear a visitor badge when they are throughout the building. But this is a big challenge for us that we have no way to keep visitors outside once they have entered into the building. All right, we'll keep going this way. So our main building is pretty much a U-shaped. So our classrooms, we require all of our classroom doors to remain locked and closed at all times. Again, because of the fact that visitors could come in the building at any point in time. That's one safety feature that we have put in place for this area. There are several exterior doors leading out of this main building. There's a total of 6 sets of exterior doors in this building, which, like I said, do lock, but they do open during passing periods. So as we walk through the building, I won't go in here because there's kids, but this is our library, which creates another set of challenges for us because there is an entrance on this side of the building and an entrance on the other side of the building. So students can cut through if needed or depending on which area of the building they're coming from. So it is very difficult when it is time to lock down if we needed to do that. Chad, do you want to touch on some things that we have talked about maybe putting in, like a lug nut system, or what suggestions do you have for us as far as, because there's these 2 doors as well as a door leading into the lounge.
So a couple recommendations that we've had for this campus is, one, trying to come up with a vestibule or a wall that contains our visitors in the front office area during the day when they need to come pick up kiddos or whatnot. That would secure the campus and make it to where visitors have to check in the office before they're authorized to come on the campus. We are looking at multiple different devices that attach to the inside of some of these classroom doors and libraries that enable the staff that's inside that room to be able to lock that door down in case we did have a unauthorized person on the campus and we went into lockdown.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. This building has gotten upgrades in our main building 2 summers ago. We redid all of the ductwork and AC units. The lighting was replaced. We put LED lights in, all new grid ceiling and ceiling tiles, new flooring in the classrooms. All the classrooms were painted. So we did do quite a bit of upgrades in this main facility building. Jeff, I know you're holding the camera, but would you like to speak on that?
Sure will. Okay. Yeah, a couple years ago we did do quite a bit of upgrades. This building at one point was an open concept building back in the years ago. Okay, and so what that did, it really messed with the ductwork and AC system when they did put walls in and got away from the open concept. So that ductwork was a big part of what changed on this campus when they did the work a couple of years ago. In addition, the new roof was added. The roof that was here before had actually, I guess you could say, for lack of better words, collapsed in some places because of rain. It's where it did flood hallways and things like that. So that was a definite upgrade. And then as far as AC systems, the units on the roof were replaced. And even on the old cafeteria, we've had some upgrades on AC units as well. So a lot of work's been put in. 2 years ago, there was a whole lot of work put in on this building that upgraded it, got it back up to speed where it needed to be, with thermostats being in the rooms and where teachers can control the temperature in their classrooms.
Okay, so now I would like to go out to the cafeteria, and we can take a tour of that. So it is a separate building. So if there were rain, severe thunderstorms, our students do have to walk into a separate facility. And like I was saying, this is the oldest structure in the district. It was built in 1943. It used to be the cafeteria for the entire school district. So there are two parts in our cafeteria. We only use the front portion of it right now for our students. And you will notice that there's a lot of even though it looks like there's a lot of structural damage, we do get it inspected often by a structural engineer to ensure that it's safe for us to use, and it is after all these years. But as you can see, there's no covering, so students are walking from the main building out here to our cafeteria. Okay, so this cafeteria was updated, I believe it was back in the late 70s, early 80s, I believe. So it did get some remodeling here. So because this cafeteria is so small, we have approximately 420 students in our campus with 2 grades of 5th grade and 6th grade. So we have to end up breaking it up into 3 lunches in order to be able to house everyone. So I will take you back to the cafeteria because it has also had an upgrade over the last couple of years. We had an issue where the drainage and the plumbing had to be replaced, but because the building is so old, we couldn't really go down into the foundation. So we have plumbing now on top of We now have plumbing on top of the ground. And so all of this area here, the sink and this drainage area has been upgraded. There used to be a window right there where the students would come and put their trays, but because of the plumbing issues, we did away with that. So now we have to use disposable trays all of the time. Our kitchen ladies, if you look in the back here, you'll notice several cracks in our floor. Years ago, the high school students would eat in this back portion of our cafeteria, and elementary ate in the front portion. However, that back door right there, there is a gap of probably not that much where the foundation has dropped. If you look at the paint on the posts over there, you'll notice that at the top, there is no paint, and that shows you how much the foundation has shifted in this area. So we pretty much use this for storage. However, when we do have like Thanksgiving lunch or things like that where we have a lot of visitors, we do have to put our visitors in this back portion to eat because our front cafeteria cannot hold all of our visitors and our students.
Another part to this, the tile that you have in here, as far as redoing any floor, the concern that comes with this, you'll see some cracks and things, but there is still this is still within the old asbestos mastic layer below the tile. Some of the glue, some of the actual construction of the tile that is placed on the floor still has the asbestos in it. So if we touch any of this, remove any of this, dig into any of it, that means a full abatement at that point. And with this being a cafeteria, that's a whole new separate challenge altogether. But being that this is the only cafeteria that we have on this campus and things like that, it's a small cafeteria, we've got a lot of kids. To do this abatement, if we ever decided to do that, would have to be in the middle of the summer, and then everything in here would have to be completely removed because of the dust and debris that would come with that. And having cooking equipment in here, that's just obviously not a good idea. So there's a lot of interesting parts to this cafeteria that we could get into, but that's the gist of it. Safety-wise, Chad, you might want to talk a little bit about safety, and I'll trade places with you.
So some of the safety challenges on this campus with having buildings that aren't attached. Kids have to leave the main part of the building. They're in an open common area where there's not any kind of fencing, there's not any kind of awnings to protect them from bad weather. It also puts them in a building that's removed from the main campuses. The communication from the main campus into the cafeteria is very poor. If we went into a lockdown situation inside this building, in the cafeteria, there's very limited areas where we could hide the kids and put them in a lockdown situation where they're possibly hiding from an active shooter or some kind of situation that's outside the building. So lots of challenges with this kind of a building, lots of challenges with the building being separated from the main campus, and a lot of challenges for the principal regarding accounting for kids and then communicating over here to the cafeteria what's happening in the main building.
One other aspect of this is this cafeteria does not have a restroom for students. There's a restroom for staff, which is back here, kind of around the corner and tucked away. But if students need to use the restroom during lunchtime or whatever, go to the nurse or anything like that, it's all going to have to be leaving this building. They have to leave here and go into the main building. So restroom-wise, which going back into the main building, there's one set of restrooms for girls, one restroom for girls, one restroom for boys in the main building. There's another east wing that has a restroom, but students would go to the main building. They have to leave here, which again goes back to safety concerns that Chad talked about. I mean, they've got to leave here, go outside. A lot of times it's a matter of, okay, I need to go to the restroom. Well, the teachers have got to stay in here and monitor kids, so they're sending a kid in unattended or without an adult by them to simply go in and use the restroom. So there's some major issues with having a separate building like this, from the safety aspect to just the actual functionality of the building. So.
Okay, so now we're going to go, again, we have to go outside of this building. We're now going to be going into what we call the East Wing. It was the portion of our school that was built in 1953. This wing used to house kindergarten through 5th or 6th grade and all of central administration offices. So you will notice a kind of a drastic difference when we go into that wing versus our main building, which recently got upgrades into the classrooms, because in our East Wing facility, it has not had upgrades for about 25 years. So again, you'll notice students have to exit our main building. They have to exit the main building in order to get into the East Wing. So we try to contain mainly 5th grade classrooms down this wing, so that kind of prevents 5th and 6th graders from having to intermingle. One big challenge when you enter this wing is that there is a single door entrance, so it does not allow for two-way traffic. So we have to train our students to go out one way and come in another way, which means they may be having to go outside an additional time when they really need to, simply to go out to be able to come back in. We'll go ahead and go in, but during passing periods, students can only come out this way and have to go in that direction. So this is our East Wing.
They called me up to the front office.
Okay, you can go ahead and go. So as you come down this wing, you'll notice the hallways are pretty tight, which does cause for some problems. We do have blue tape on the floor to try to help our students remember to stay on the right-hand side of the hallway, but when you have students lining up on each side of the hallway and then back. Okay, so this, we try to house our 5th grade classrooms. You'll notice it did not get the same upgrades, very low ceilings, poor lighting in this area. The classrooms here still have carpet, whereas in our main building we were able to put tile. So we have several upgrades that we would like to do. This building did recently receive new AC units. Those were replaced over the summer. These 2 rooms on this side are technology, so it's basically 2 classrooms that we have to put together. So there's an accordion door in the middle where you can open or close. So as we move on down, again, this wing only has 1 set of restrooms for all of our students. We have had termite damage, so this had to be taken care of, so we are now waiting on it to be replaced. We had some bees in one of our classrooms as well. So this wing has several challenges of its own. The intercom system is a very old intercom system. It's probably literally from the
74.
Yeah,
It's from the original, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so we've had it all rewired when we did all our upgrades. Sometimes it works out here, sometimes it doesn't. Same thing with our technology. So that was the boys' restroom. Here's the girls' restroom. So all of the students in this wing, as well as the outside wing that we're about to go to, all have to, if they're in an outside classroom, again, they have to exit outside where there's no fencing, no perimeter, to be able to just come to the restroom in this hallway. So as we exit out this way, you will see there are 4 classrooms that are outside. One of them happens to be the nurse. So if a student needs to be sent to the nurse, that's another challenge where they have to come outside. So the teachers all have student passes with card key readers so that students are able to come in and out. So we do have 4 classrooms out here that students have to come to. If you were to scan the perimeter of our, here, let's come out here. If you were to scan the perimeter, you will notice there is no fencing around. There are some houses right over here, so they do have fences. There are some challenges at times when we may have, oh yes, so we have, parking lot here and students right there. But we do have challenges sometimes where there may be a house over there and they're needing a tree trimmed or a surveyor to come. And so these outside people literally come and park in our parking lot and walk over to that fence line because that's really the only way they can access that. So again, from a safety standpoint, Chad, you may want to touch on that. From a safety standpoint, that's concerning for our students. Another big thing that you will notice is we have students outside. This gym, our gym is that big white building over there. We'll go in there in just a minute. But our students have another detached building that they have to go to. So we do have a gym, which when we go in there, you'll notice has a concrete floor right now because we did recently have to do an abatement process for our tile. We are getting a new gym floor and that will be put in approximately 4 to 6 weeks. So until then, our gym teachers have been get a little creative because we don't want to do any activities in the gym that have a lot of running or could cause some serious injuries with students falling on the concrete. So you can go ahead and stop it. Okay, so this is our gym. Jeff, do you remember what year this was built?
It was right around the same time as the, I believe it was East Wing, all that old
So
wing.
53?
About
Around
53 is when this building was actually constructed.
So as you can see, the floor, we did have to have tile removal because it did test positive for asbestos. So actually last week we got that removed. So we will be putting in some new gym floors, like I said, in approximately 4 to 6 weeks for that. The gym is used by several organizations in the community, which kind of is a benefit because since it is freestanding, they're not having to go into a school facility. So that is advantageous for us. But a problem that we have is there are several people that have keys to this facility, and so they don't always go through the proper channels to reserve it or do the paperwork so that we know that they are in here. So that has been a challenge for us. Another challenge is that our restroom is a very small restroom. There's one stall for the boys and one stall for the girls. So that is a challenge when we do have large community events in this gym. Again, the problem is when we have bad weather, the students are having to leave the main building to come out to the gym facility. So if it is lightning, we have to house our PE classes in our library because it's too much of a danger having our kids walk back and forth in the lightning or the heavy rain. So that is a disadvantage.
Yeah, and one of the ones they added was, they actually improved on, was the intercom system here
Yes.
for the gym. So that was an upgrade, really. When they did the building, when they worked on the main building, I believe that was the same time they did this. So they actually have the call button here, kind of an emergency call deal. Button right here to contact the office can contact them. Prior to this, it was literally a walkie-talkie against a microphone kind of deal in the way to...
Or a phone. With the microphone.
Yeah, a phone with a microphone to hear the announcements and the pledges in the morning and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, a lot of that going on, but that's been upgraded.
The fire alarm, we finally got a fire alarm put in here last spring. Before that, this never had fire alarms. So if we had fire drills or emergencies, we would always have to let them know ahead of time that we were having a drill because they would have no way of knowing because they could not hear anything. As you can see, there's the distance from the main building. So again, when students exit those exterior doors, they are walking across a driveway in a parking lot in order to get out to the gym. Our buses have to travel within this ring here. Our parking lot did get some new gravel over the summer, but that is usually a challenge because the buses put in a lot of potholes within this concrete that breaks down in our driveway. But we are actually going to walk the distance to our band hall that our 6th graders have to use. We have to share a band hall with the junior high, so it is actually 1 block down the road. So I'm going to mimic how our students have to walk. So during a passing period, they would come out. There is a band director that will meet them at the edge of this rail, and then they will have to stop traffic in order for our 6th graders to cross the street. And same thing when it's time to come back. They have to congregate all the students on the other side while there's another group over here waiting. And so it's a lot of safety concerns. Also, it's challenging because they don't hear our bells over there. And so if they kind of lose track of time, then we have a whole group of students that is late coming back to class, so then they're missing instruction time. So all of our students will come out of the building, they congregate right here, and they wait for the band director. And then as they stop traffic, we cross the street. They do actually have them walk in this gravel area right here so that they're at least contained. Now, there is a bus that you'll notice down there. If it is raining, one of our band directors does have a bus license, and so he will bring the bus and they will drive back and forth dropping the students off. But as you can see down where the stop sign is, that is actually our band hall that our students are walking back and forth to every day. Anything either one of you want to say?
One other facility that our middle school kids use over here is the old field house. It's considered, I guess, junior high field house. and weight rooms in there and all that kind of stuff. But our sixth graders, when they're in PE, sometimes they will have to cross the road again, cross this road once, one more time, be outside, and just to get to the field house during PE. And they're just trying to do kind of a pre-athletic type PE class with sixth graders at that point. So.
Okay, so that is our facility tour of Wills Point Middle School. And as you can see, we do have several challenges, but we do have a plan in place where we are trying to address some of these issues. And special thank you to Chad and Jeff for participating in the video.